All right, here's part two. Interview with an Asian.
We can't, because I'm smoking.
We are.
Mm-mm.
And we're going to see how this pans out. Daniel,
Yes.
now, coming from an Asian, how do you feel about the civilization in America of white people in general? How do you feel about them?
White people in general?
Yeah.
White people in general. It's really hard to say because the American government reflects not only white people, considering our president is black, and we have a very mulatto
My man.
Congress, the majority of which is white. However, if you want me to talk about the American society as a whole, I think we're falling into every rut that every other civilization has and will.
But I would like to hear about your side. Like, I want to hear about what you have to say about it.
About my side and what I have
Yeah.
to say about it.
We can get political. That's fine.
Don't
Too.
be so articulate. Just say what the fuck you want to say.
Okay, we can get political. For example,
So don't get political.
universal healthcare. Do I think it's a good idea? In some respects, yes. In some respects, no. In some respects, yes, as in every American citizen, yes. Okay, people do deserve health care. People who are trying, people who are toiling, yes, they deserve health care. Those people that sit on welfare and live on other people's dimes, no, I don't believe that they do. Because from a completely statistical point of view, and yes, I'm using numbers, um, there are a great number of people in the United States that do live on welfare alone, make an under the table living, don't pay taxes, but they reap the benefits of everybody else just because they are on paper poor.
Very nicely noted, actually. I like that. That was good. Well, what's your view on the people? Because they say that that the unemployment rate has dropped since the past 3 years, but I don't believe that that's really a statistic because I think that's people from unemployment that actually
The
ran
unemployment
out. I think that's unemployment that ran out. I don't think that
the,
was.
the unemployment rate is a crock of shit in the first place because when you take a percentage of the unemployment rate is people of working age that are looking for jobs. Now that being said, you take somebody who is chronically on welfare and is not currently actually looking for a job. It's not statistically supposed to reflect that, but it does. That being said, as well, people who can't work, say they're under 18, say they're disabled, say that for whatever reason they are stripped of their right to be um, rightfully employed, that are looking for jobs are not counted.
Agreed.
So, you have a very large group of people, a large part of the population who is looking for jobs and currently cannot find them that are not counted. And you also have people who are not looking for jobs, uh, who are going through the system just looking for free handouts that are receiving benefits and everything else. And who has to pay for that but the normal taxpayer. However, this is supposed to be an interview with an Asian and not
Absolutely.
and not Asians' view
On
on why
America.
people are or why the American society is failing.
But the reason why I asked him this is because something sparked my mind. We didn't interview, but we talked to an Israeli woman who was here from Israel and came to America to make money. And we were actually talking about, her military status and everything else. So it kind of sparked a question
Well,
for
that's
me.
actually very funny because everybody
That's
in
why.
Israel is mandatorily forced into the service, which, for better or for worse, some of you say that's not a good thing. I believe that it is. Um, has a very different view of the world. She views us as being lazy and fat, which for the most part actually is
We
true.
are.
Uh,
We
Nowhere
are.
else in the world can you spend, well, literally, okay, good example. Nowhere else in the world can you, for literally less than an hour's wage, put that fucking away, that doesn't count. Nowhere else in the world can you spend less than an hour's wage to get a meal at a fast food restaurant. Have somebody else cook it for you, where there are people starving. And as far as beer, beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. By Benjamin Franklin. That is actually a quote.
Founding forefather.
Actually,
That's a real quote. You can
can't
look
get
that
them
up.
in other countries because they have fast food restaurants.
They do have fast food restaurants in other countries. However, you try to go to a McDonald's in Europe, you try to go to a McDonald's in any other country, and you're going to be paying import taxes out the ass. Therefore, in Africa, is there a dollar menu? Hell no.
Nope. Even in New York City, you know what I mean? 3 hours away, you can't find a dollar menu.
But once
There's
again,
almost dollar
this
menu,
is
but
not
it's not.
Asians' view on politics. This is interview with a fucking Asian.
Stop talking
Well,
about
I
politics.
asked you. You're the one that went on the rant. I just asked you a question, and you.
You want to hear the question? So if you're really hungry, there's a buffet, and it's right in my pants. It's called an egg roll, and the more of it that you eat, the bigger it gets.
That's an answer.
Yes, that is an answer. I did answer a question
Yeah,
with
it's
an
not
answer.
a question. I'll take it though. No homo.
Oh, he will take it. But considering this is taking a more political view than a racial view, no, I cannot grow facial hair. Yeah, this is like not shaving after like a week and a half.
It's a day and a half.
I'm actually very grateful for that. And yes, I can drive. Yes, actually, drifting did originate in the Orient. Yes, I said the Orient. I'm being politically correct, even though it's against what I believe. Next question.
Next question. All right. With you growing up in America, knowing that the views that your mom grew up with, do you ever talk to her about conflict that ever came between what she grew up and believed in versus the views that the American public tried to push onto her, and the ones that she had to grow with the American government?
Yes, however, her view is slightly skewed considering she was 17, 18 when she moved here.
Mhm.
So, just as anybody else that's 17 or 18 when they move to a new country, their views are a little skewed.
Her way of life, though, not politics, her way of life, like how she used to carry herself in the foreign country versus how she had to do it when she came here.
Well, I mean, once again, this is a little more of a an exception to the rule. As apparently, my mother left her house before she actually got a high school education.
Mhm.
I know a lot of you guys in America might be like, how the hell did that happen? Well, considering the time period and the part of the country she was from, that's actually very normal.
Yeah.
As there as it was here. So, I don't know exactly what you're asking.
Well, I'm asking you like how her views, how she grew up, like her way of life, like how her cultural unity changed when she came
You're not
to
recording.
America. It's
No,
definitely
you are
recording.
recording. Okay. We're good.
But that's what I was asking. Have you talked to her about things like that, or is that something you
Okay.
guys don't really talk about? Is that...
Well, something that you have to understand is the Asian culture as a whole is very traditional, very for those of you that don't know, China secluded itself from the rest of the world for a very long period of time. Something that many of you may not know is that Koreans, and I am half Korean, actually is a descendant of the Chinese people that broke off basically because of the food they ate. So as far as the difference between cultural raisings, my mother was raised to be more cultural nationalistic, more devoted to what she did. There's no way for me to really answer this question in less than 9 minutes, so go ahead. Next
All right.
question.
Let me think here. I really think we tackled it all in the first one too,
No,
and even the second one.
No.
Well, there's a difference between me asking a question and something that you personally want to say. And if you personally want to say something, you definitely have the time to do it.
No, we don't. There's like
45 seconds.
Yeah, it's 45 seconds. There's no way. I think we should probably redo this considering this took a more political stance than I had.
Well, political and
Well,
racial
okay,
is the
talk
same
about-
thing.
Well, we can do a political one later. We can do white boy and Asian on politics. So I think we should probably erase this one.
I think I'm gonna keep it.
You think you're gonna keep it?
Stop using welfare to pay my
I think
war.
I'm gonna keep this. All right, I'm keeping it. So
No, that's not right.
you know, ignore the last 20 seconds. But I mean, if you're gonna watch the whole thing, do it. But you know, this is
Yeah,
once
yeah.
again white boy intervening, and Asian guy here. I'm invading,
I can
interviewing.
feel this
Have you ever
being
heard
a
that song
series,
by Waka
honestly.
Flocka?
And here's
Because
our
I'm-
stance. So
because I'm still.
we're done.
Yeah, you
No.
Here's the
no.
second.